In the summer of 2020, the College of Charleston launched its first dinosaur hunting expedition into the Cretaceous Badlands of Wyoming. These two diggers are Dr. Scott Persons, that's me, and Professor Amanda Kelly, that's my wife. We're working to uncover a section of bone from the frill of a Triceratops. It's a pretty big bone, but only a comparatively small part of the total skull. Still, the bone gives us some useful scientific information.
Let's talk a little bit about why we're bothering to collect this chunk of frill. We don't see very many other elements around it, so it doesn't look like this is going to turn out to be a full skeleton or even a complete skull. We're not going to be able to find more pieces and eventually put it all together and form a wonderful Triceratops skull for display in our museum. So why grab it? Well, a skull represents one individual. So it represents one data point. When we're looking at studies out here and we're considering things like the abundance of different kinds of herbivorous dinosaurs, this confirms there's one Triceratops, or at least one large ceratopsian right here. Because this is a section of the skull, it will also give us a little bit of information about the particular individual that it's from, because we can take measurements of the skull bone and get a rough approximation of how large of an individual it came from. And going along with that, how old of an individual it came from. So that tells us a little something about age and size distributions among all the Triceratops specimens that we found out here. It's also interesting if we want to compare how often we find isolated Triceratops bones versus in other ceratopsian dinosaurs. If we were digging in a place like Dinosaur Provincial Park up in Alberta, Canada, and we were looking for animals like Centrosaurus or Styracosaurus, it's very common to find those animals associated with large bone beds containing multiple individuals, because those are herding dinosaurs. We often see depictions of Triceratops moving around in large herds, I think largely because they seem somewhat reminiscent of bison or wildebeest, and because we have large bone beds for other varieties of ceratopsians. But that doesn't really seem to be true for Triceratops. Finding an isolated Triceratops skull is way more common than finding big Triceratops bone beds. Largest Triceratops bone beds we have only record around 5 individuals together. That's not really a large herd. That's probably a small family unit. Ceratopsian dinosaurs is a big group. We run the risk of making generalizations about those groups, as we do for other dinosaur groups as well. We tend to say, oh, raptor dinosaurs, those are pack hunters. Well, there's some raptor dinosaurs that have been found together in monospecific bone beds accumulated together. We got some trackways that record multiple raptors moving together. But we also have plenty of raptor dinosaurs that are basically only found as individuals. Raptor dinosaurs are a bit like modern day cats. You can have in the same ecosystem some cats that form large groups that hunt cooperatively, like lions. You can find some big cats like cheetahs that can hunt individually or that can form small social consortiums. And you can have big cats like leopards that are absolutely loners. Different species within that large group have different social structures. Social behavior can evolve pretty quickly, can evolve faster than big changes in morphology. So even though Raptor A, Raptor B, Raptor C look roughly similar in overall form, doesn't mean they behave the same way. The exact same thing is true for our herbivorous dinosaurs. It is right to say that herbivorous dinosaurs lived in herds. It's wrong to say all herbivorous dinosaurs lived in herds, because some of them, like Triceratops, seem to have largely been loners.